Yeah, Jake lacked discernment. Yeah, pretty much. You know, that's what I titled it. I got a few precepts, and then we'll just move in the spirit. All right, yeah, we in. So, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Hakodash. Double honors to our apostles and other bishops here at Green Millstone. Shalom to your brothers, this Christian work of truth with all sincerity. All right, and this lesson is pretty much to, you know, I won't even say it's a backlash, but you know, you had Alizé make his remarks about the apostles and how, you know, dealing with the wife, family, and all of that. You know, and then you had this other guy just recently, a guy that pretty much he still think he in the truth. You know, he has some remarks, you know, concerning the family, and you know, the apostles telling us to, you know, basically forsake the family, you know. And the truth of the matter is our people lack discernment because, well, you can start with Ecclesiastes 3:1. Because we understand what our what our apostles and elders have been telling us, they've been spot on since the beginning. They've been spot on about everything. All the advice, all the counsel, you know, all the forewarnings and admonishment is what it is. You know, they've tuned us, they put us in the right spirit. All right, gave us the example, the perfect examples and instructions on how to move in this world. And at the end of the day, taught us how to, you know, and at times I wish I would have followed certain advice early on, so that I wouldn't have to go through, you know, things. But most of us have to go through experiences to get, you know, to obtain wisdom, you know, and then each one teach one. Okay.
And that's exactly what it is. You gotta bump your head so you would actually take heed the next time and actually warn the next man.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It was a, you know, speaking on how to stop falling to certain things, or, you know, stop bros from falling, from certain things.
Yeah, because Jake is hard-headed. Yeah. The scriptures tell us we're stiff-necked people. And the Lord, and you know what, Ecclesiastes 17 and 17. In fact, I got it right here. You know, and this is one of my favorite steps because it says, so this is Sirach, or Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 17. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people. But Israel is the Lord's portion. You see, we don't have no governor. We don't have, our king is Yahweh, right? Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, okay? The Father and the Son. Of course, King David. And what King David represents is a government, all right? A certain status, or not status, but a certain standard, okay? A certain way things supposed to be ran, okay? So the Lord, but Israel is the Lord's portion, whom being history, time and time again, you see purpose. See, they keep it out. But anyway, I'm gonna read this again. This is Sirach 17 and 17. It says, "For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion." Okay, whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, right? And giving him the light of his love doth not forget him. So the point here is that the Lord is bringing us up with discipline. He's always brought us up with discipline, okay? And every time You know, when you look out throughout the history, the Israelites would rebel against that discipline. You know, and most of the time they never could understand, you know, the purpose behind what the Lord was doing. And many times they missed the signs. They ignored the signs. They overlooked the signs, especially with, you know, dealing with the prophets. One that comes straight to mind was Ezekiel, you know, and he would have the prophets do certain things that would be a similitude of what they were going through. And, you know, the scriptures say the Lord speaketh once, yea, twice, and again. And the Lord speak through his prophets. The Lord set the prophets up, lead you in the way, Isaiah 30 and 20, you know, and to guide you and see what at every turn you got Israelites who rebel, and it's nothing new. Jake act like it's something new. This ain't nothing new. You've been doing the same shit for ages, you know. The only difference is now this is the end, and your mistakes, like Moses told Israel, choose you this day life or death. And if you don't choose the Lord's discipline, well, guess what? You're gonna have judgment coming to you, and that's the whole point. So the apostles were set up to raise us up in a certain way that would have us prepared for the times that we're going to be dealing with. And we know this world is fucked up. We know the woman and relationships are fucked up. Okay? We know that families could families destroy men who aren't mentally prepared. But those some things were unavoidable because what we had to learn ourselves through experience. We had to bump, like the brother said, we had to bump our heads. So you got it, bro. My bad. Okay.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 20. And it reads, and though the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction.
Yeah, catching hell. All right. Slavery was one of those hells that we caught. Okay. And after slavery, you had 100 years of Jim Crow. Right. And Jake, for the love of me, they don't understand that the reason why you're not getting ahead in this world, all right, the reason why you're not the flesh within the cauldron mixed among all these other nations and things ain't going perfectly for you is because this ain't our rest. That's right. That we don't have an inheritance with the heathen in this world. But for some odd reason, our people want to be like the heathen. They want to have what the heathen got. They envy what they have. We don't know. You know, Jake is confused trying to figure out how can we fix things, generational wealth, vote, get in politics. None of that worked, right. As you can see, because they rolling back all the rights that they gave you niggas. All right. That mean what is that? And Jake, for the love of me, can't get it. But the prophets have set the prophets up right in front of you to explain all of these things, to prepare the way for you, man. And Jake at every turn rebellious, doing whatever the hell they want, making excuses, you know? And those excuses it's gonna be the downfall of most of our people, man. The Lord ain't finna play with you niggas no more. Just because you didn't want to follow instructions, the Lord got judgment set up for y'all now. So you got it, bro. My bad. 30 and 20.
30 and 20. Yep. Back in Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 20, and it reads, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
There you go. Right. They're not removed into a corner. I mean, they're not out of sight and out of mind. They right in front of you, man. You see? So there ain't no excuse. You got it.
But thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
There you go. And haven't your eyes been seeing your teachers? Yeah. But most of our people, they hateth him that rebuketh in the gate. They reject. They forbid the living waters, the fountain of living waters, or something like that. You got it.
Okay. Verse 21, and thine ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way.
There you go.
Walk ye in it.
Right. So the men are set up, these men who are not hid in the corner anymore, they're set up to guide you and lead you into the way of the Lord. All right. How to serve the Lord. Every Israelite know that you're supposed to put the Lord first. But when the elders say, is saying certain things like, forsake that woman, especially if she's not good for you. And most of these women, if the Lord ain't dealing, they ain't good nowhere. All right. Some women you ain't getting nowhere with. They're competing with you. The family is dragging you down. You can't focus, right? With families and shit, and be in that family spirit.
Right.
And it's funny because this topic is coming up again. So and we got to explain to Jake how to serve the Lord again, how to put the Lord first, how to forsake your family. Right. And the scriptures say, and people don't understand what it means to hate. The one in Matthew 10, we read it earlier. We did a class on it. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, go ahead, man. My brother.
No, you good. No, but like they were saying, it's a time. Well, we got it in Ecclesiastes. It's gonna go into, but the apostles are preparing us for the times that we are in. So the words that the apostles were saying was, if any, pretty much, if it deters you away from the, cut it off.
Yep.
Yes, it's a hard saying, or but the ones that do have the discernment,
and so, for you, then it's not for you. It's a balance, man. Mm-hmm. But do you think Jay gonna consider that balance? No, you got idiots like Alizé, who's just trying to make people look bad.
Right, that's it.
And you shouldn't be talking, man. You look real bad, bro.
Yeah, he looked like, I won't lie, he just reminded me, of one of those old ass fucking cartoons where the evil person was always sitting there laughing in the background and being mischievous and just being a damn devil.
Yeah, man, you're a stain, man. You're a stain, bro. You're a blot, man.
Yep. And pick and choose what they want to expose or what they want to say, and just, I mean, the scriptures do say that they're gonna come against us, and
yeah, we understand that, yeah.
Right. So, I'm gonna go back to the scripture though. It says Isaiah 30:21, and then I shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when ye turn to the right hand and when ye turn to the left.
Yep. Yeah, so what they're guiding you, they set up to guide you. Ecclesiastes 3:1. And then I'll get Luke. All right? Because the scriptures talk about discern the times. You see? Are you not paying, and Jake is not paying attention to what's going on in the world. Then you're not paying attention to how your enemy's moving. They're setting up a whole control grid where they're surveilling you 24/7. Right? And they're doing it now in Tennessee and other parts of America. But that's coming to the whole of America. You see? Two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. They're finna come with. They're about to be putting people to death for the most skilled crimes. I had to say it again because it went out.
This Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, to everything there's a season.
Right, to everything there's a season. I want to read that in the MSG, bro. Because the MSG, they talk to you like, not a nigga, but they talk to you like, they put it really in modern terms. Yeah, just put the precept in. You ain't got it on there. It ain't gonna be on there. You gotta use the internet, and then type, because Bible Hub should come up. Yeah, man. The Lord, there's a purpose. All right, as the scriptures say. In fact, I'll just wait on it. You got it. Ecclesiastes. Okay. MSG. Oh, you're supposed to type MSG next to it. Yeah, but why you get that, I'll get Luke chapter. This is Luke chapter 12. All All right. This is Luke 12. You know what? I started at 35. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. Right? That means be on fire. Okay? You can't be on fire if you're in the family man spirit. Okay? The woman, the children, they bring your spirit down, man. You know? 36. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. All right. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. Right. And if he shall come in the second watch, or come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. Right. So we want to be found watching. Okay. You don't want to be found in this lackadaisical, you resting, you're not in the spirit. Okay, because the family can easily take you out of the spirit. They can easily, you know, you can easily be docile. Okay. It says, in this know that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, right, and the thief is coming now, all right, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to be broke through. Right. So you really, if you got a family, you ain't really supposed to be paying attention to them too much. Why? You're supposed to be in the spirit of the, of this book. Okay? Because that's the only way you're gonna be able to protect them, man. All right, you ain't gonna be able to protect them by coddling and laying up and all of that other stuff, man. It said, the scriptures say, get your house in order. All right. So it says, be therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. Let me jump. Yeah, I'm gonna jump to 49. Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? Right. So in other words, he wants the world to be how can I say, consumed. He wants the world to be, in chaos. Okay. It says, but I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? But through the fire. And what the Lord said he was going to baptize us in, all right, which is the furnace of affliction. It says, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house, all right, divided 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. So who's bringing the division? The Lord himself. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And all their difference is going to be based on belief. And you're going to have those that believe and those that don't believe. Okay? Discerning the times. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern these times? So the same thing the Lord was saying then, right? With the Lord even prophesied that the enemy, which was the Romans, would basically come in like a flood and cut you off on every side and set a trench about thee, right? And if you've been paying attention, you should know that this devil is lining these people up to do something very heinous. So you're not going to be able to escape it, man. He's making it so you won't be able to escape. All right. And he's going to have it like a prison state, man. So that was it on that.
Just like in Second Ezra, It says what? A man shall desire to go in this. I mean, the things that he's putting in motion is ultimately going to lead to that. You know? But I got Sirach. This is the MSG, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Ecclesiastes.
yeah.
It's like
3
this
and
is,
1.
yep. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1, and this is in the MSG, the Message. Okay, it says, "There's an opportune time to do things, a right time for everything on earth."
Right, a right time for everything on earth. Okay, and we gotta discern what type of spirit that we're supposed to be in for these times, and it's gonna be the two. You got it.
Right. It says a right time for birth and another for death, a right time to plant and another to reap, to heal, a right time to destroy and another to construct, a right time to cry, laugh, a right time to lament and another to cheer, a right time to make love to another and to another abstain.
Right. So what are we in the times? The times to abstain.
Abstain, yeah.
And be focused. And that's why the elders were saying what they were saying. Okay? Because there's a balance. It ain't always one way. And Jacob used the scriptures just to justify that one way.
Right.
Cleave unto your wife. Yeah, we know you're supposed to cleave unto your wife, but is it conducive, being that we in the most confusing place of, the most, wicked place of all time?
Right.
And this place can consume you. It can consume you, and people have already been consumed.
Right. Scriptures also say, "Be not ignorant in any matter." And when you see, and you see in these things that, well, if you're properly examining, you'll be able to see yourself being taken, going astray, or too much of your time being put into the family.
Right.
So when you see those things, you're supposed to cleave into the Lord more, lean into the Lord more, especially because of the times. Back in the
Yeah, you can keep going too.
Yep, a time to abstain. It says a right time to embrace and another to part.
Yeah. Yep. So to part away. And what times are we in? Because we know this world can destroy you. Micah 2 and 10.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. You see?
But Jake know they supposed to be putting the Lord first. They know it, but they just want to do the truth the way they want to do it. And they don't understand that the Lord has set a standard among his men, right? And those men are instructing the believers on how to move, how to think. You got it.
It says a right time to search and another to count your losses. Right. A right time to hold on and another to let go.
Yeah, so what are we told? What spirit are we told to be in now, right? We're supposed to be in the spirit of
a pilgrim.
The pilgrim is looking for a miracle. He's looking to find his way home. And the scriptures say the captive exile hasteneth to be loose. We're still exiled. We ain't in our homeland. Right. And America's not our homeland. People love this place so much. They want to say this is Jerusalem. This place is not. This is hell. This is Babylon the Great. Okay, this is America. All right, which Mar is Mahar, which means bitter. Okay, this is a very bitter place, man. So you got it.
Okay. It says
Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Okay. The Message as well.
Yeah.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7 in the MSG. Okay. And it reads, it says, brutality stupefies even the wise and destroys the strongest heart.
7:1.
Oh, Slacky. My bad.
That's my
7:1. Okay. Yep. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 1. And it reads, a good reputation is better than a fat bank account. Your death date tells more than your birth date. It says you learn more at a funeral than at a feast. After all, that's where we'll end up. We might discover something from it. It says crying is better than laughing. It blotches the face, but it scours the heart.
Yeah. Here, let's get it in the. Here, I'll just read it.
I can't.
This is Ecclesiastes 7:1. This is the KJV. It reads. Slide. Ecclesiastes 7:1. It says, "A good name is better than precious ointment in the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning, right, than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the continents, they holding us fast, and they're not letting us go, right? They got other plans, and these plans consist of them essentially trying to steal your soul, trying to take you from the Lord by way of this beast system, by implementing the mark of the beast, which is the chip. And a lot of people calling us crazy, but we're going to see who crazy when they implement it, because we're getting really close. They're building data centers all over the world. And if you think that'll tie into the chip, right, then you have been completely misinformed. If you thought that this place was going to just go on regular, no. They're about to shut this place down just like they did in 22. You see, and a lot of you didn't learn your lesson then, you know, when they shut down society, okay? When they forced you to take a jab for work, and they forced you to, you know, present papers for trial.
Right.
So this is going to be worse. You know, Bill Gates said it out of his own mouth. They're going to pay attention to this second pandemic, okay? So they're generating all of this, the crises and all of these things, which we've been telling you, you know, before, during, and, you know, after what's going on, to inform you so that you be fully informed on what's taking place, so you wouldn't have a doubt in your mind on where we at in the world and concerning prophecy. The Lord has made it clear, but of course, only the righteous is going to take heed, you know? So I think that's, let me see, it's Ecclesiastes 7:4. It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. And that's the great millstone, okay? We are that's the rebuke of the wise, man, okay? And it's gonna, your works is gonna show when shit hits the fan, when things get a lot harder out here, all that stuff that y'all been talking, y'all gonna have to live up to. And hopefully it works out for you, but we know it's not. You see? So it's coming down to whether we've been right this whole time, or whether y'all just been full of shit and rebellious. But what's coming behind your choice is going to be a permanent judgment that you ain't going to be able to ward off. That's where it's getting. So yeah. That's, let's see. In the scriptures, we know the scriptures talk about those that have, for it is the last time for those that have wives be as though they have none. Right. Yep. Right. It's all about having discernment. It's all about understanding the times that you're living in. You know, the scriptures talk about our people, what it says, a wicked man finding an excuse to his own going. So you got Jake using excuses. Well, keep on using them, then. Keep on using them. Keep on playing and acting like what we doing is wrong and what we saying is wrong. Okay. At the end of the day, we're about to find out who's been right this whole time. Because in the scriptures talk about 2 Ezra 16:68, the Lord, it says a great, what it says, the wrath of a burning multitude is kindled over you. Yep. That's going to be these troops in the streets going door to door, right? Taking people out of their houses, killing people, taking them to the detention centers, okay? Taking all their goods out of their house, All right, all that stuff that you got stored up. You see, and then, as the scripture said, then shall they know who the elect, who my chosen are. So that's the point we're coming to. So all games, all that game playing and all that shit is gonna be over with. It's gonna be through. You see? But a lot of you gonna learn the hard way. So yeah, man, that's all I got to say.
See, it's coming to the times where you're gonna, if you were trying to hold on to certain things in this world, or even people that once, well, we know the flock of Yahushua, the Lord's men, the Lord is with men. You know, your family is gonna get salvation, Lord willing, based on you.
Yeah, based on how locked in you are with the Lord. And the woman should know that, look, she should understand the times that we're coming into. And they shouldn't understand it because they're survivalists.
Right.
You know? They pick and choose their man and their leaders based on if they're going to be able to survive.
Right.
You know? But the Lord got it out for a lot of women too, because, you know, he's setting all of these people up who are who not in the right spirit. He's setting them all up to be destroyed, man. To be punished. Yeah, that's all I had. Something else to close.
Yeah, no, I couldn't get it all the way through, but yeah. No, it's all good.
Well, you know what? Cause I had like an example to go into in Deuteronomy 17:17, where the Lord told us not to go take us wives. But I was going to use chat and go into depth on why, you know, because again, it just goes with, there's a time and purpose for everything under the sun. Right. And our purpose here in America is not to be, you know, living this perfect life, you know, having a perfect wife, because we know that's impossible in this world. Right. You know, and we're not going to let no men try to gaslight us because we in the right spirit.
Right. You know? And also, if I may, man, these women will drain you. All they are attention seekers.
Yeah.
You see, they will drain you. But we're dealing with a jealous power. You know, so
yeah, the woman jealous, but the Most High God, He's even jealous, way more jealous.
You definitely got to be careful where you put your attentions to, because guess what? I'm gonna say, hey, if you put too much attention to that, hey, that's going to become your sacrifice to the Lord.
Yeah. Yes, the elder in Atlanta. Husband said,
oh, yeah. He did say that too. That's right.
He said, what you don't sacrifice, becoming a sacrifice. Roughly paraphrasing what he said. What he said. You know?
And then you can look at the aspect of you know, the society we live in too. Because shit, she'll use your the nigga woman will use your kids against you. And you know, Jake, we really do care for our kids, but this ain't the time we living in. You know, you gotta be ready to quote unquote sacrifice them too. Pray to the Lord that they be good and just keep striving for the Lord.
And remember, in the scriptures it said, the Lord, those that were crowned, they put off the mortal. They put off it said they put off the mortal or something like that.
Hold on, let me see if I can get it real fast.
I think it's in 2nd Esdras. Yeah, I think it's in 2nd Esdras.
Yep. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and verse 45. And it reads, he answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing.
Right, they put off the mortal clothing. The mortal clothing is what this world has presented you and told you that you're supposed to be.
Right.
You know, we're supposed to be mortifying the deeds of our flesh. Scriptures talk about us not, you know, what does it say? Make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. You know, so yeah, we're gonna have to abstain from our women at time. You know, but Jake, you know, again, Jake ain't got no discipline, and the Lord has always raised us, as Ecclesiastes 17:18 goes. You know, He nourished us with discipline. And at the end of the day, you've always had rebellious Israelites trying to do their own thing. You always have rebellious Israelites who missed the signs and overlooked the signs and downplayed the signs, because those signs were, though they were subtle and evident, they just downplayed them, man. And the truth about it is they're in contempt with the Lord, man. So yeah, they got a personal issue with the Lord and His ways of doing things, you know. So yeah, we can cut it.
Finish. Yeah, finish this real fast. The second Ezra 2:45, and it reads, "He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms."
There you go. And so they put off the mortal clothing. Okay, they put off this world. All right. And if you and for you women that's believers, man, you're not gonna give you're not gonna make it about yourself.
All right.
You know, you're not gonna make it about your feelings. This is the greater purpose at hand, right? And if you don't understand that, then guess what? You're gonna be hurt in the times to come. You're gonna be hurt because more women are coming into the truth. Because the Lord is about to build what? He's starting with the elect. He's about to rebuild. He's about to get rid of the 2/3 who are in the mind, this westernized mindset. All right? Because the westernized mindset is about to destroy many. And if the women can't get with it, guess what? It's gonna be, that's gonna be on you. We don't give it, and we ain't gotta sit here and convince a woman, oh, I need we don't need another wife, or I can't give you the time. We ain't gonna have to convince you no more. You just gonna have to be, either you're gonna be down with it or you not. And we don't give a damn if you're not down with it. Right? Because the Lord ain't dealing with the feelings, and this is the Lord's program. He's about to determine. He is determined what he's determined what's going to happen in this future, and you be smart to ride with it, you know. So we riding with the Lord, man. You know. So, but I mean, it's gonna be a hefty sacrifice. It's gonna be uncomfortable. But guess what? We agreed to it. And I'm not gonna be drugged down in this world and Lord willing be stuck in this world, you know. Hell no. You know, Lord willing, man. And we want out of this place, man.
That's right.
We want to get the fuck out of America, man. You know.
If I may, real fast.
Hey, Sean. So most black people have, well, the fact that they're black, they ain't got no light. You know. Yeah, of course they're gonna have a problem with the truth. You know, and the truth is not a hard. I'm about to say not a hard thing to swallow, but the truth is a very hard thing to swallow, man.
That's right.
The truth is, and that's why people hide the truth. That's why people don't deal with the truth. You know. But that's one of the part of this affliction, the truth. Because the truth is, you ain't living in a world where things are all good and peaceable.
Right.
And then all your people got it all together. Our people are destroyed, man.
Yeah. We are in the land of pretty much, you know, we are here
to serve.
Yeah, to serve.
So to serve our punishment.
Serve our punishment. Yep.
And our punishment is almost over with.
That's right. So now that you've waken up to the truth, you have to understand that, hey, now everything you give your body as a living sacrifice.
In fact, our punishment is over with. We just going through this final test, right. Final proving. Because His word is what gives us liberty. It gives us, you know, it gives us justice over this place. You know.
See, but the scriptures also, you know, also tell you what you're supposed to have faith, and ultimately you show your faith by how you move in this truth, or with what you've known. Mm-hmm. You know, but remember, Yahushua did say this though. This is Matthew 19:28, and it says, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Now it says, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold.
Now, that mean you got a family and everything's all good, and you just say, hey, no, fuck that, I'm leaving, I ain't got nothing. That ain't what it means.
Right.
That means you're not putting all your heart and pouring all your time into it.
That's right.
You know, you're forsaking that so you can do the ministry of the Lord.
That's right.
Which is what? To teach, to feed the flock daily, right? To be locked in the scriptures. What and you're researching, you know, and then you got to put off your flesh. You know, you can't be tied into your flesh. You see, and what the family, that, you know, you got to spend time, and which we do. We get time to spend with our family. We get time to sit down with our family. You know, and we make the best of it. You know. But this world, again, you got to find alternatives. You know, you might not be able to, because it's time is coming where you're not going to be able to take them outside. Times are coming where you ain't going to be able to take them to, you know, to even be able to walk outside, you know? So, you know, you better get your rocks off now, you know, or again, create the mindset where, you know, you just find alternatives to deal, you know? Yeah, but we do, you know, the Lord gives us balance, man. That's the beautiful thing about the truth.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. That was one thing that I remember Atazawam used to always say. It's a man, really understanding balance. And sometimes you gotta tip the scale more to the spiritual side, you know, and more to the serving side of Yahweh Shema Shah. You know?
Yeah, because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself losing and more and more, you know. But when you tie into the spiritual side, you're building up. You're building up spiritual fortitude. You're building up blessings. You're building up certain things that's going to help you in the long run. You know. She say, black family is in tatters and lack of male role models and leaving a vacuum for Satan. Yeah, that's what's happening. You know, because the God of this world, which is Esau, Edom, okay, he destroyed the family structure completely. But what do we have? We got spiritual fathers, you see, that is helping us tap into, you know, the Lord. And the more we tap into the Lord, that's when everything else falls into place. You know, that the void is filled. You know, in this world, our people don't have a purpose, but we have a purpose in the Lord, and that was always our purpose to begin with. Our first love, which is, you know, seeking the Lord, seeking His understanding, seeking His wisdom. You know, because that wisdom, it sets everything else in order. It sets the family in order. You know, and we find peace. You know, the scriptures talk about seek ye the old paths, the old way. You know, that's Jeremiah 6:16, I believe. But yeah, we're gonna close out. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying. You know, because we got class and stuff. So again, we got duties. We class. We deal. We read. We gotta read together. We build. We gotta spiritually build. We gotta fortify our minds and our hearts, you know. So I mean, we can't always be, you know, how you entertaining the family, because what, we got to spiritually build, and then we got to teach the family. We got to teach our women, you know, to fortify themselves so they won't be lost and broken, and you know, which is okay to be broken at times, because the Lord deals with the broken. If you're broken in spirit, the Lord is right there. All you got to do is you pray to the Lord, man. You know? So Lord willing, this makes sense. Until next time, we want to say shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh Shema Shabbat.